Welcome back to Your Own Arc. Today we're talking about lighting. Seasons are changing, it's getting darker earlier. By 5 o'clock it's starting to get dark. By 5:30 we're in the dark without power. So we started experimenting with different ways to light our homes, and I'll share a few things that I've come up with. What we have right here are some homemade candles. This is a vegetable oil candle. You can buy these kits online, 20 bucks or so. I just took a wire and wrapped that wire in a coil so it'll hold the string. Vegetable oil does not wick very well, so the flame needs to be close to the oil so that wire holds that wick above the oil about a half an inch, and you get a nice little flame off there, nice soft light. Not super bright, but enough to see what you're doing. The one next to it is a tallow candle that I made. You just render down the fat and pour it in there, stick your wicks in. You see the roll of cotton string, you can buy that at Walmart, anywhere. It's just 100% cotton string. You can make your wicks out of that cotton string. The vegetable oil one there in the mason jar, I just cut a piece of that cotton string off and threw it in there just now. If you soak the cotton string overnight in a solution of borax and salt, then the cotton takes on the borax and salt, changes its property, and makes a better wick. But as you can see, it works just throwing the cotton string in there. The other two candles there in the back are a beeswax candle that I made. Just bought some beeswax, melted it down. It's more expensive, probably not worth it, but it was kind of a fun little experiment. And then if you're going to purchase a candle, the most cost-effective place I found to purchase candles, you go to a grocery store. In the Mexican section there, you'll see the candles. Some of them have the Mother Mary on them, or the Christus on them, or whatever, or just the blank ones. But that's the most cost-effective place I found to buy candles, is those decorative candles that they use there. Candles do put off, a nice soft glow, but they're not a super bright light source. You can move upward into lanterns, and there's all different kinds of lanterns that you can use. The lantern oil varies, and the light source that put out from the lanterns can be really good. The wick lanterns that you see there, the wick lanterns put out more light than a candle, and then the pressurized lantern beside that put out significant more light than the wick lanterns. That pressurized one puts out the equivalent of about 400-watt light bulbs. We lit it up in our house, and it would light the living room, dining room, and kitchen very easily. It is a kerosene light, and kerosene does put off an odor. Better use probably for an outside lantern, but does put off a significant amount of light. The other lanterns, there are hundreds of different varieties of lanterns that you can get, from the all glass lanterns to your more durable metal lanterns. You want something that's going to be durable, that puts out good light. The different lamp oils, some of them are odorless when they burn. Kerosene is probably the most cost-effective light per gallon, but does put off a strong kerosene odor. So kerosene is probably better for outside use, but the different lamp oils, as they get more expensive, become more clean, and you can still get that good light out of them. When you're dealing with your candles, the vegetable oil candles put off no odor. The tallow candles put off no odor. So you're dealing with lighting your home, low ventilation. You have to take all those things into consideration as you're thinking on how you can light your house. Lighting is very important. I just turned off our power, and we realized in about a half an hour that we were not ready for a long dark winter, and started to experiment more with different lighting options. So there's a lot of different lighting options, and we'll cover some of those next, of how to light with power. Here we are at part 2 of lighting. My philosophy usually is go for the preparedness stuff that your grandparents used. Those are the tried and true methods, but there are some good technologies that help take us to the next level, and in the area of lighting, that's where it really comes out. I've tried a lot of different of the lighting technologies, the crank lights, the crank lanterns, solar panels, and different things, I'm going to share with you today the things that I found that are the easiest to use, the most cost effective. The crank lanterns I haven't had good luck with. The crank lights seem to be a little more durable. They're not as bright. But we're going to go through a few things here, and this is what I found, and this is what I use that I found is the most effective. We'll start here with the Waka Waka light. It's a solar powered light with an internal battery. The solar panel's on the back side, and then this little tab on the bottom folds so that you can set it up to charge it or to use the light. It has several light settings, which is a good feature for this one. It has a blast light that will last for 30 seconds at 120 lumens, and then after that 30 seconds is up, it'll switch to the 60 lumen settings, which will last for 8 hours. The next setting down will last for 16 hours, and then the last setting is like a night light type of a setting, but it will last for 80 hours and is still fairly bright. Your eyes would get tired reading by that, but you can see and maneuver around, have it in a room where you have to maneuver around or have a night light, and that is a setting that will last for 80 hours and give you really good continuous light. It charges completely on a good full day's sun and is a really good option. The light settings on that are the main feature that it has, because you can change that depending on what those settings are, and we'll talk about the importance of that later. The next one is this emergency kit, the Solar Ninja. This is a single LED light, very bright, 50 lumens, one setting, and when it turns on you only get that one setting. So the solar panel for it is disconnected from the light, and then you just plug it in when you're charging it, and it will charge that up. One of the features to this that is really neat is it has some of these little adapters that will charge a cell phone, and so that's another feature to this above the Waka Waka, that you can use this solar panel to charge other things. The drawback to this light is it only has the one setting, so you're getting 50 lumens, which is a really nice bright light, for about 5 hours on this battery, and only one setting, so you can't vary that. The one thing that I like about the Waka Waka, the stand, you can set that up somewhere to read with it, or set it up for the kids to use while they're playing, and it's more stationary. What I did with this Solar Ninja is I put a string on it. It's just a shoestring or whatever that I had, and I put that on it and actually made a necklace out of it, and I hung that necklace around my neck so this light was setting on my chest, and as I walked around it was putting the light out in front of me, which made it very easy and provided a lot of light for me to do the tasks that I was doing, working in the kitchen, working around the house. I went around and tried to do different things. A lot of really good powerful light shining out right in front of me to do work that needed to be done. That's one of the drawbacks with all of the different lights, is getting the light on target for when you're trying to perform a task. So that was a really good way I found to do that, is just hanging that around my neck, and it put it right out in front of me all the time. And so that's a neat feature with that. It's a little smaller, bright light for doing tasks. The next one that I have over here, this is a little crank light, a headlight actually, and so it comes off of the mount there, and you can wind that up. I use this every night when I go and check the boys, put them down for bed and check them, cover them up. Not very bright, but very reliable, very consistent. I can crank it up. I always know that there's going to be power there. If it's low, I just crank it up really quick and go do the work with it, and I use that every day. It's a very nice light, and again, hands-free. When you're doing tasks, you can't be holding a flashlight or something. You need to be hands-free. You want something like that you can wear around your neck or on your head, so you can perform the task that's in front of you. Another good option is this is just a yard light. Has a single LED bulb in it, a couple of dollars at Walmart. Really cost effective. A little light here, solar panel. I've just had this sitting in my window for a couple of years now. Charges up during the day and then gives us a couple hours of night light. In comparison, at the lowest setting of this Waka Waka, probably about 3 of these yard lights is equivalent to what you're getting off of the the Waka Waka at its lowest setting on that 80-hour setting. So just to compare that, but you want to look at cost effectiveness and what you want to do with the cost effective on where you want to invest. You would want a couple of the Waka Wakas for your major light areas, maybe one of the Solar Ninja emergency kits as a work light for cooking and cleaning up and that sort of thing, and then having the kids being able to have their own small light that can charge up, that they can give them a couple hours of light to do personal stuff that they can carry with them or take to bed as a night light. You're only going to get 4 or 5 hours out of these. Some of the more expensive ones will give you a little longer, but as you're looking at long-term power outage solutions, you'd want to be able to have every person in the household have some form of light so that they can do their individual stuff, and then have bright enough lights that you could get the specific tasks done that needed to be done. The irony is, right after I got the Waka Waka, the inversion came in and we didn't see the sun for two weeks. So I would charge them up during the day. They would still charge through the inversion, not as well. I'd only get a couple hours out of them. I'd charge them for a couple of days, get a couple hours out of them. So it was kind of ironic to have that inversion move in right when I started trying to play with the solar panel stuff. But they did still work a little bit, not as well. And so we want to keep in mind that we have the inversions here as well, and have on hand also the ability to create light just with the flame. This would be if I was just starting out and wanted to outfit my home, or even if you've already tried different things. This, in my opinion, is the most cost-effective way to outfit the light here. Most people have a little glass jar or mason jar or something, cotton string at Walmart for $2, and you throw it in there, bend a little wire to hold the wick up, and you have, this is using, with both of those flames in there, it's using about a tablespoon of oil every 4 hours. So you can see that a 1.5 liters of oil would last for quite a long time, and you'd have that still not as bright, harder to move around. The jar does get hot after a while, but if you're in an inversion and your solar panel lights don't charge up, this does give you some light to fall back on, and then you have your solar panel lights that are more versatile in being able to move around. You can handle them without worrying about them being hot. If you had to leave for an emergency or something like that, you can just pick that up, put it in your bag, and not have to worry about carrying gallons and gallons of fuel for your light. So there's a lot of variabilities in your light, but this is, in summary, probably the best case scenario that I would know to prepare your family to function long term in a power outage. If you have any questions, shoot me an email at yourownarc.blogspot.com, and thanks for watching.